And now to our top story out of Parliament. Now, Sharon, I understand that last month that the Little India riot and its aftermath were in focus today.
Yes, that's right. The riot was described as the worst public disorder disturbance in Singapore in more than 4 decades by Deputy Prime Minister and Home Affairs Minister Hean today. But he stressed that the incident was contained and did not spread in time and space.
So, what specific long-term measures were discussed?
Well, in his ministerial statement, Mr. Teo announced that the government was introducing a new bill that seeks to enact a temporary law empowering authorities to continue with calibrated measures aimed at maintaining public order in Little India.
Since the December 8th riot, calibrated measures have been put in place to restore calm and order in Little India. The proposed law will allow authorities to continue with alcohol restrictions and regulate movement of persons in the area for up to 1 year. A concern was raised over how the law will be applied.
Can I ask the Minister whether it's important to also be to guard against aggressive measures attempting to restrict every aspect of life of our migrant worker, including their leisure?
This is neutral with regard to whether it's a foreign worker, a foreigner, or a Singaporean. So I can assure you that the police will implement the laws strictly, firmly, and fairly, regardless of who the person is.
Detailing the aftermath of the riot, Mr. Teo said 30 emergency response and private vehicles were damaged. 49 officers sustained injuries. But the minister stressed that the riot, though serious, did not spread to other parts of Singapore.
Not a single shot was fired that night, and there were no fatalities amongst the rioters, innocent bystanders, or our home team officers. By 6:45 a.m. the next morning, Racecourse Road was reopened to the public. All was calm at the Little India MRT train station, adjacent to the incident site too. In short, the riot did not spread in time, in space, and was contained.
There were also differing views on whether the alcohol restrictions in Little India should be expanded to other areas where foreign workers congregate, or whether they should be lifted.
I had a chance to speak to some Indian Singaporeans who were rather unhappy about the imposition of the no alcohol zone indefinitely.
Mr. Pritam Singh feels that alcohol should be allowed back in Little India as before. I think there may be different opinions as to whether that's reasonable or sensible to do. In fact, alcohol is available, even on weekends in Little India today. What we have done is curtail the hours for sale or takeaway. Mr. Pritam Singh could have informed those particular persons who brought the matter to him.
Mr. Pritam would like to know that I did a house-to-house visit of the blocks, the residents of a block that live just above a row of shops that sell alcohol of various kinds, and more than 80% of the residents says, please don't stop the ban.
Mr. Teo added that a key lesson from this incident is that even in a stable society, serious incidents can happen. He said Singapore cannot be crisis-proof, but its people can be resilient and crisis-ready.
And Imelda has details of the Public Order Bill, which has a tight scope and specific targets aimed at dealing with the particular issues in Little India.
The proposed new bill is called the Public Order Additional Temporary Measures Bill. Now, under it, a designated area in Little India will be termed a special zone. Now, this zone extends all the way from the junction of Mackenzie and Serangoon Road and right up to the junction of Tessensohn Road and Beatty Road. Now, to give you a better idea of where this area is, we have the Little India train station exit here, Mustafa Centre here, and a civil service club just up there. And there will be general prohibition against the sale, supply and consumption of alcohol within this area. A permit regime will also be introduced to allow such activities to be carried out, but only under specific conditions. Now, it will also be an offence to possess prohibited items like weapons. And police powers will be enhanced. They'll be empowered to search or interview anyone who enters the zone. They can ban a person from entering the special zone if that person is deemed to threaten public order. And police can suspend the business license of anyone who contravenes or even is suspected of contravening the law. Now, the new laws will be temporary. The proposal is for it to be in place for up to 1 year until the Committee of Inquiry on the Little India riot comes up with longer-term measures in its report due out by mid this year.
And an analyst weighs in on how the bill would change enforcement in the special zone.
Well, I think it allows the government to take quick action, whereas the current act may not allow for these sorts of situations. And one example, for which I suspect will be in the new bill, is the ability to ask a small number of people to disperse. Currently, under the existing legislation, there needs to be an unlawful assembly of at least 5 people. So my suspicion is that there'll be powers to ask a smaller number of people to disperse if there's a chance that they might cause a public order nuisance.
But for businesses in the area, their immediate concern is how they will be affected by the alcohol ban.
Businesses are more dependent on human traffic, so the more people come in is better for us. But after all these ban and restrictions, there are not many people coming in already, and it's affected our business so much.